Here's the news that impacted our stocks in week 44, from the 27th of October until the 2nd of November. So a brief explanation on the table. On the left hand side you see all the different stocks that I own, along with the ticker symbol, the price and the return for each day of the week, the return of the week itself, the return of the year to date, so versus the beginning of January, and then for my stocks what I've generated since I bought them, and where the stocks are trading today versus the target I have in my mind of where I want to start thinking about buying again. So when the numbers are positive, it means they're trading above my target. When they're negative, they're trading below, and the colors give you a quick idea of where we are. So let's start with the general market. So my portfolio, if you look at it unweighted, so as if I had $100 in each stock, was up about 3.5%. The S&P was up 0.7, the Nasdaq 2.2. It's quite normal that my stocks are up more. I also expect them to be down more when the market is down as a total, because my stocks are just more volatile in nature. So going on to the news, government shutdown is still ongoing. They're in the 33rd day today. On Monday they will have their next vote. The longest shutdown in history is 35 days, so let's see where we get. On Tuesday there was some interesting news. The US announced $80 billion deal with Westinghouse to build 10 AP1000 pressurized water reactors, so nuclear reactors. The funding is coming from the Japanese trade deal in which they committed to invest $550 billion in the US, and it will probably result in the US having a significant equity stake in Westinghouse. So this really fits their agenda of being leading the race in AI, and which also needs a lot of energy. On Wednesday, the Fed announced that they cut rates by 25 basis points to between 3.75% and 4%. The market initially rallied on the news, but then was a bit down after they mentioned that the December cut is far from certain. They will also stop their quantitative tightening, so stop selling bonds. They currently have 6.6 trillion bonds left, so that should also give some release in the market. And then on Thursday, Trump and Xi met. Overall positive sentiment. The fears about a trade war were subdued a bit. They decided on lowering of some tariffs and halting some of the big reciprocal tariffs. And China committed to buying about 25 million metric tons of soybeans from the US. So overall quite positive news, and you see it reflected in the market results. Moving on to stock-specific news, not much happened for the first three companies. AEVA and American Battery Technology both down for the week, but they had really positive weeks the week before, so they just handed in some of those gains. AMPX Technologies was up 9%, nothing major news-wise that I could find that drove this. So Archer Aviation down about 1% for the week. On Monday, Adam Goldstein, the CEO, announced that they will probably have tens of aircraft flying around during the Olympics in 2028, so that gives us some color there. Then Butterfly had a big rally on Friday following their Q3 results. On Monday, they announced that they received some information security accreditations for their platform, so that's good to see. They were also promoting some type of product that's coming out on X. No details yet, but probably next week we'll see something there. And then on Friday, like I said, they posted their Q3 results, up to 32%. If you want to know more details about it, you can watch my deep dive. Overall, it was quite positive looking forward. Then on Howard Hughes, down 3%, no specific news. Nautilus Biotechnology also reported their Q3 results on Tuesday. I also made a deep dive on that you can watch on YouTube. Overall, good progress towards their commercial launch by the end of 2026. And then OKLO, no specific news, down about 2.4%. Then Palantir, up almost 9% for the week. On Monday, they announced that they will be deepening ties with Poland's Ministry of Defense for their armed forces, defense industry and startup industry. And then on Tuesday, during NVIDIA's big GTC conference, Jensen announced a partnership between NVIDIA and Palantir, which will be quite interesting. I'll show the video here to give you an idea.
Probably the single most important enterprise stack in the world today, Palantir Ontology. Anybody from Palantir here? I was just talking to Alex earlier. This is Palantir Ontology. They take information, they take data, they take human judgment, and they turn it into business insight. We work with Palantir to accelerate everything Palantir does so that we could do data processing at a much, much larger scale and more speed, whether it's structured data of the past, and of course, we'll have structured data, human recorded data, unstructured data, and process that data for our government, for national security, and for enterprises around the world, process that data at speed of light and to find insight from it. This is what it's going to look like in the future. Palantir is going to integrate NVIDIA so that we could process at the speed of light and at extraordinary scale.
Moving on to Recursion, they unlocked a nice 30 million payment in their partnership with Roche and Genentech by publishing the microglia map. So good news there, but the stock is down about 9% for the week. Samsara then, no specific news, but up 2.3%, and Tesla up 5% for the week. On Tuesday it was reported that their service area for robotaxi in Austin was expanded, so that's good to see the progress there. So moving on to Quantum Corner, I added one new stock to that, NVIDIA. I had a micro position in it already just to keep track of the company. So they announced during their GTC conference, the same one we just mentioned for Palantir, that they're basically putting themselves at the heart of quantum. I think a very aggressive, competitive move, and let's see how it pans out, but I'll quickly show you their idea in the video.
There are many ways to build a quantum computer. Each uses qubits, quantum bits, as its core building block. But no matter the method, all qubits, whether superconducting qubits, trapped ions, neutral atoms, or photons, share the same challenge. They're fragile and extremely sensitive to noise. Today's qubits remain stable for only a few hundred operations, but solving meaningful problems requires trillions of operations. The answer is quantum error correction. Measuring disturbs a qubit, which destroys the information inside it. The trick is to add extra qubits, entangle, so that measuring them gives us enough information to calculate where errors occurred without damaging the qubits we care about. It's brilliant, but needs beyond state-of-the-art conventional compute. That's why we built NVQLink, a new interconnect architecture that directly connects quantum processors with NVIDIA GPUs. Quantum error correction requires reading out information from qubits, calculating where errors occur, and sending data back to correct them. NVQLink is capable of moving terabytes of data to and from quantum hardware, the thousands of times every second needed for quantum error correction. At its heart is CUDA-Q, our open platform for quantum GPU computing. Using NVQLink and CUDA-Q, researchers will be able to do more than just error correction. They will also be able to orchestrate quantum devices and AI supercomputers to run quantum GPU applications. Quantum computing won't replace classical systems. They will work together, fused into one accelerated quantum supercomputing platform.
So like I said, NVIDIA really putting themselves at the heart of quantum in this move. If they succeed, all these different partners are going to use their infrastructure and their coding language to connect them to the bigger data centers and also do their error correction. So quite an aggressive move. One notable exception was D-Wave in the partners. The CEO of D-Wave and Jensen had a bit of a discussion during the last conference, so I hope there's no bad blood there. So looking overall in the week, the stocks really went up a lot. I'm actually hoping for all these quantum stocks to tank at some point so that I can sort of build up a bigger position, because I think they're quite expensive at the moment. And also realizing their potential is, people say it's years away. So probably there will be some down points at some point at which we can buy some more stocks. So looking at next week, a bunch of earnings calls. I will make a video on all of them. I will probably bundle them a bit to not overload you guys. On Monday there will be Palantir. On Wednesday AEVA, Recursion and IONQ. And on Thursday ACHR, D-Wave and Amprius. On Friday there will be the Tesla shareholder meeting where they hopefully vote to accept the performance package for Elon. So I hope you found this interesting. I hope you like the format. Let me know if you want to see some changes anywhere. If you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend about it, and I will see you in the next one.